had a phone call from a man in June 2006. I didn't know him. He rang and he just asked me why no media had reported on the fact that a priest called John Denham had been convicted of child sex offences a few years earlier. And I said, look, I don't know, but I'd check and confirm it, and if that was the case, then I'd report it, and it was right. It was September 2007 that I really started writing about it in a sustained way. I came at it just as a journalist going, hang on, this is weird. Why has the church said this, and yet these people and these documents are saying something completely different? And then having this extraordinary backlash from people who were saying, good on you for doing that, or on the other side, people going, what the hell are you people doing? We're going to sue you, rah, rah, rah. As a journalist, when you get that kind of completely polarised positions from people, that's what's interesting. I was born in 1960, born into a Catholic family and the eldest, with a father who was a very gentle man. So my template for male was gentle and nurturing and loving. So when I came up against these priests and others who were anything but, who had this authoritarian view of the world, I knew that that wasn't what a good person, a good man was. These are just copies, smaller copies of the headlines that we had at the time. The hardest part, I think, has been more having to straddle the need to be supportive of the survivors themselves while also being, you know, really tough with really bullying institutions behaving disgracefully. I wasn't just reporting on it, I was doing long form pieces, I was doing just straight news pieces, and I was writing opinion pieces almost from day one. All that we had about churches for a long time was the church's point of view. What I was doing in opinion pieces were going, yep, cool, got that. Here's the view from the people affected by those institutions we're supposed to respect. 2012, after the suicide of John Perona, who was a victim of the priest John Denham, I was exhausted by it and wrote a piece, the piece that started our campaign. I said, there will be a royal commission because there must be. I didn't realise it at the time. I thought I was just making a statement as in there must be, as in we need it. Looking back on it, I think there was also a personal in that. There must be, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this. It went to the Herald's editor at the time, Chad Watson. Chad read it, had quite an emotional response to it. He made the decision that the Newcastle Herald would campaign for a royal commission. There was a Fairfax poll a couple of days after the Royal Commission was announced. There was a 95% support for a Royal Commission, which apparently was the highest ever for anything. I got a text message from another journalist saying, Julia Gillard's just announced a press conference. I absolutely lost it. Once it was obvious she was announcing a Royal Commission, and then Chad lost it. So there's the pair of us bawling our eyes out in his room. Sometime after that, I was trying to open the mail and there was this letter, and it was from Julia Gillard saying nice stuff about me. Just sat there and thought, oh my God, you know, she'd written it on the night that she lost her job, and she said it was one of the final things that she did. As a feminist, coming from Australia's first woman Prime Minister, as one woman to another woman, you know, it was quite extraordinary. But when politicians don't respond, you are entitled then to chase them and monster them, and, you know, I'm particularly adept at that. I quite enjoy it. That to me is activism. In a democracy, you've got to be active. We get the democracy that we're prepared to stand up for. If you're somebody who has the capacity to speak and has the forum to do it, like a journalist, then you've got a responsibility to do that. You don't just look after yourself. I'm happy if it makes people think about what individuals should do. I'm happy that I'm a woman that's done it. If anything's remembered, I'd like that. It was a regional woman journalist who said, enough, it's time.